And just like that, the Philadelphia Phillies 2025 season has come to an end. They were eliminated in Game 4 of the NLDS against the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers. They lost that Game 4 2-1 in extra innings in the 11th inning, so it was a tough battle, heartbreaking ending for the Phillies. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Now, I'm sure you've watched the game, you listened to it on the radio, you've heard about it now, you saw replays, you saw highlights on social media, whatever it may be. You know how that Philadelphia Phillies season ended, how that Game 4 ended out there on the West Coast in LA in that 2-1 extra inning, 11th inning loss to the Dodgers last night on Thursday. Ryan Kerkering, he made that costly error, mistake to end the game, to end the Phillies season. It was bases loaded. There was 2 outs. Weak ground ball hit back to him at the pitcher's mound. Easy play. Should be an easy play. You have a force at any base. Obviously, the play there is at first base, though. He did bobble it. However, still had plenty, and I mean plenty, of time to get the runner out at first, to get the third out of the inning, to send it to the 12th inning, to give the Phillies another shot, to score a run, to take the lead, and to keep their season alive. But unfortunately, Ryan Kerkering, after he kind of misplayed that ball, bobbled it a little bit to his side, just absolutely panicked, set in for the young 24-year-old reliever there in a huge moment, obviously, in the NLDS on the national stage, trying to keep your season alive, trying to beat the defending champions in extra innings with that winning run, going home, trying to score that run to win the ballgame on that walk-off by the Dodgers, which actually ended up happening. Again, it was a 1-1 game in the bottom of the 11th inning. Dodgers were up to bat, bases loaded, 2 outs, winning run on third base, weak ground ball hit to Kerkering. Obviously, that runner's running home to try to score. He has to. Plays at first, should be at first, 10 out of 10 times. Unfortunately, Kerkering bobbled it. He panicked, as I said. Instead of throwing it to first, oh my lord, even JT Realmuto, the Phillies catcher, he was standing at home plate, pointing to first base, not ready for the ball to come his way at all, telling Kerkering, throw it to first, get the easy out, let's get back into the dugout, let's keep our season alive, let's get the bats going, let's try to win this ball game and take the lead. But no, Kerkering panicked, threw it home. I shouldn't even say threw it home. It wasn't even a good throw to begin with. It was a horrible throw by Kerkering, not even close to JT Realmuto at home. Even if Realmuto was ready for the play at home, just wasn't going to even be close to him to even potentially get that out. Even if it was a good throw to Realmuto at home and he was ready for the ball, still the runner coming home was going to be safe by just almost by like a mile in the sense of baseball terms. He was going to be easily safe. There was no play at home to be had, especially after Kerkering misplayed it there on that ground ball. He was going to be safe regardless. The plays at first, he had more than enough time. The runner was only about halfway to first base by the time Kerkering picked up the ball to throw it home at the time. Plenty of time to get him at first. His catcher's telling him to throw it to first. He threw it home. Safe. Phillies lost it, and that was it. Horrible way to end the season. Walk off for the Dodgers. 2-1 victory in that Game 4 to go on to the NLCS against either the Chicago Cubs or Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs forced a Game 5 in that series on Saturday for them. So just tough stuff for the Phillies. Horrible way to end your season. Now you can't blame it all on Ryan Kerkering. Now, obviously, that was the big play. That ended the season right there. It's heartbreaking, obviously, for him, for the team, for the fans, for the city, for everybody involved. Heartbreaking stuff for Ryan Kerkering, but you can't blame it all on him. This Phillies lineup, this Phillies team is so highly paid, so highly powered. They are majorly to blame for this 4-game series lost at the hands of the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers. The Phillies offense just could not get anything going in this series other than that Game 3 in LA where we saw them win that 8-2. And really, it was that 5-run 8th inning. They really didn't do too much else in the rest of that ball game besides that 8th inning in Game 3. The Phillies offense is way more to blame than Ryan Kerkering. Again, Kerkering is going to be, that play is going to be talked about now all offseason. He is going to hear it from fans. It's going to be tough for him really to come back and pitch next year in 2026 for the Phillies. It's just a tough thing to get through, but the Phillies offense, they are made to win ball games for this team. They are made to drive in runs. They are made to hit home runs, and they just did not do this against the Dodgers in this NLDS now over season ended. Inept offense. They had just 4 hits and 1 run with the season on the line last night in that game 4 to the Dodgers. Obviously, only scored that 1 run. They were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. You just can't simply win a ball game, especially in the playoffs against these great teams, scoring just 1 run, having just 4 hits in an elimination game with your season on the line. You can't be 1 for 7 with the runners in scoring position. You got to come through with these clutch hits. Phillies just did not do that. Their big 3, they've been talked about all series long in those 4 games against the Dodgers. The first 2 games, non-existent. Game 3, they were there. All 3 of them, that is Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, had good games in Game 3 offensively. But Game 4 last night, the big 3 of the Phillies, they were just 1 for 14 in that ball game. Again, just can't be happening with your season. You need your big money. You need your star players to come through and deliver with your season on the line. And again, Kirk Ring, obviously that play is going to be the headline, and just a tough way, embarrassing way to lose, horrible way to lose. But again, the Phillies offense is more to blame than Orion Kirkring. Obviously, there just couldn't get the job done against the Dodgers in this series. Couldn't get the job done last night with their season on the line. Horrible stuff. They were even lucky to score that 1 run in that ball game. Max Kepler, he hit into a fielder's choice and could have been a double play at first. Maybe he would have been. It looked like he was going to be out, but luckily, the pitcher trying to get over to cover, he was trying to find first base with his foot while trying to also catch the ball, running all that kind of stuff. Completely missed the ball. It got by him, bounced out of play in the Phillies dugout. Kepler was able to advance to second base there. And then right after that, Nick Castellanos hit a huge RBI double to score the first run of the ball game, put the Phillies up 1-0 in the 7th inning. Late in the game, it was still not enough, but you kind of thought the way the Phillies pitching was going that they were going to win that ball game. At that moment, that was the moment the Dodgers messed up. The Phillies had a chance to take advantage, and they just did not because they couldn't get anything going following that. And obviously, only scored that 1 run, only those 4 hits in those 11 innings, that extra inning walk-off win by the Dodgers, 2-1. Just tough stuff out of the Phillies, and a lot may be changing here in this offseason heading into 2026. I'll get to that in just a moment. Before we get to that, another big moment in that ball game. Excuse me. Another big moment in that ball game. Jhoan Duran, he came in a huge moment. We all know, if you're watching Christopher Sanchez, he pitched dominantly, electrically in that Game 4 last night against the Dodgers. Just great stuff out of Christopher Sanchez. He was dominant. Rob Thompson decided to go to his big, fire-powering, hard-throwing closer, Jhoan Duran, in the 7th inning in relief of Christopher Sanchez, who got into a little bit of a trouble there in the 7th inning. There was first and second with 1 out. Thompson decides to bring in Duran. We all knew it was probably going to happen. High leverage situation. They've been talking about it all series long, that situations like that he would pitch. Multiple innings even. He did that last night. Came back out for the 8th. But Duran, first and second, 1 out in relief of Sanchez in the 7th inning. 1-0 Phillies lead. He did get a ground out at first, so 2 outs. The runners did advance to second and third, so now second and third, 2 outs. Still 1-0 Phillies lead. Duran, that's exactly the guy you want on the mound, obviously. Dominant closer, dominant reliever, hard thrower. We've seen how good he can be. We've also seen him come up with these bad moments and blow some games, but you kind of had faith that he was going to get out of that jam. Unfortunately, after intentionally walking Shohei Ohtani to load the bases with 2 outs, not taking the chance for him to deliver to help the Dodgers take a lead, you take that chance with bases loaded. Mookie Betts, he had been great in that series. I think he had like a 400 batting average in the NLDS against the Dodgers, so he was a hot hitter. It was tough to walk Ohtani to get to Betts because Betts could definitely deliver in that situation and score that game tying, maybe even go-ahead run for the Dodgers late in the ball game. But with walking the bases loaded, you have nowhere to put that runner if you were to walk him on 4 pitches or whatever it may be in that count. And that's exactly what happened. Duran just wasn't able to find the strike zone great in that at-bat against Mookie Betts, and he ended up walking him with the bases loaded. That drove in the game-tying run off of a walk. Free passes kill you, and obviously tied it up 1-1 there in the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies lost a little bit of momentum. You can't be walking a guy with bases loaded in such a huge moment like that. High leverage moment with your season on the line, with one of your best pitchers on the staff on the mound. Duran just can't be happening, and that's what he did. He walked in the game time run. He ended up getting out of the inning after that, but the damage was done. It was tied up, and then we all know it kept going into extra innings. The pitching was great on both sides all game long. Dodgers couldn't get really much going against the Phillies pitching. Phillies couldn't get anything going against the Dodgers pitching. That's why it went to 11 innings, and that's why it came down to that last play where it was a weak ground ball to Kirkring, who should have got out of the inning with that play to first, threw it home, safe, walk-off win for the Dodgers. Phillies season over, but nonetheless, just not good stuff out of these top Phillies players. Duran blew it there with that walk to drive in the game-time run. The Phillies offense, horrible stuff out of them all series long pretty much, other than that 8th inning in Game 3. And then, obviously, it's just led to this 4-game elimination at the hands of the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers. And that could lead to an end of an era of Phillies baseball. 2022 really started this era of Phillies baseball a little bit before when they acquired Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto. But 2022, they got Kyle Schwarber, they got Nick Castellanos the following year, they got Trey Turner. So they had this big, huge core group. The starting pitchers, Nola, Wheeler, and then Sanchez and Suarez coming into their own, obviously acquiring Jesus Luzardo before this season. So this era of Phillies baseball could be coming to an end now with that 4-game elimination in the NLDS at the hands of the Los Angeles Dodgers this year in 2025. Kyle Schwarber, we all know he is the big ticket, big prize free agent in this class. JT Realmuto, also a free agent coming up here in heading into the 2026 season. Ranger Suarez, the starting pitcher as well. He is a free agent. So 3 of the top Phillies players, Schwarber, Realmuto, Ranger Suarez, all set to hit the free agent market. Nick Castellanos, he also has just 1 more year left on his 5-year deal. He signed back a few years ago, or 4-year deal, whatever it was, but 5 years, I believe. 1 more year left for Nick Castellanos, but however, we all know how his season ended and how he's been kind of a streaky player, even though he was an all-star, even though he had some very good moments for the Phillies throughout his tenure so far. Just struggled down the stretch in 2025 after a really good season through most of the year. Struggled in July and August, a little bit more in September as well. A little bit better in September, but wasn't playing every day, obviously, in that platoon role with Max Kepler in right field. And then wasn't great in the playoff run here either. Had a couple of big hits, but that was really it. Batting average was low for Nick Castellanos in the NLDS against the Dodgers. Trade rumors. He's been subject to trade rumors now really for a few years, but now definitely even more so with him struggling down the stretch in the regular season, struggling in the playoffs for the most part, falling into that platoon role, only having 1 more year left on his deal, getting up there in age. Trade rumors are going to be at an all-time high this offseason for Nick Castellanos, along with Schwarber, Realmuto, Suarez as free agents. It's just going to be a very, very, very interesting and big decision worth kind of offseason for the Phillies. Also has to decide Rob Thompson. He obviously took over for the Phillies when Joe Girardi was let go early kind of ish in that 2022 season. Obviously, they turned it around. Rob Thompson stepped in as the manager, brought them to the World Series, that great run there, lost in 6 games to the Houston Astros, brought them back 1 game shy of getting to another World Series, and next year losing in Game 7 in the NLCS to the Arizona Diamondbacks in a series that they really should have won. Got back to the World Series, but they didn't. And then obviously we all know last year they lost in the NLDS after winning the NL East for the first time since 2011, having that first round bye, lost to the Mets in 4 games. Same thing again this year, one of the best teams in Major League Baseball here in 2025. First round bye, NL East champions for the second consecutive season, but again lost in 4 games, this time to the defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers here in 4 games in the NLDS. So Rob Thompson, obviously coaching is always the first to blame here when your teams that have championship aspirations or championship caliber team underperforms, gets eliminated, maybe sometimes in some cases doesn't even make the playoffs. Just the manager, the coaches in any sport is the first to be blamed, even though he's not the one hitting the ball, swinging the bat, pitching the ball, playing defense, running the bases. He's not the one doing that, but he is the coach. He is the manager of this team. It all starts with him, the responsibilities. His decision-making also hasn't been great. We saw a lot of decisions here in the playoffs that weren't the right decisions, ended up not working out for him. We saw it all year as well. We've seen it in the past. Just some poor decisions, some unfortunate decisions for Rob Thompson from time to time. Obviously, nobody's perfect. That's going to happen. I still keep going back to this, how they lost this series. That bunt hole attempt by Bryson Stott in Game 2 at home, where the Phillies were rallying late, coming back in that 9th inning. They had Nick Castellanos just drove in 2 runs to make it a 4-3 Dodgers lead there in the 9th. No outs, game-tying run at second base in scoring position. ended up bunning Bryson Stott. Castellanos thrown out at third. Just horrible stuff. I'm still blaming that for a major turning point and why the Phillies lost the series. They could have won that ball. You had 3 chances to swing the bats, to drive in that game-tying run, to keep that rally going. That bunt attempt got Castellanos out at third. The Phillies kind of just lost momentum there. They did win Game 3 in LA, but if they win that game at Citizens Bank Park, tied 1-1 going to LA, who knows how that series would have ended up. But that would have been momentum heading out to LA. Hopefully they still would have won that game through, took the series lead, and then they could have been moving on in this NLDS and moving on to the NLCS instead of going home, packing their bags early, and heading out to Cancun early with this early elimination in the playoffs at the hands of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Rob Thompson's job security, he will be on the hot seat. We'll see what happens. Obviously, he did take this team to 4 consecutive playoff appearances, including a World Series appearance, but still not getting the job done with this highly paid, highly powered team, offense, starting pitching staff, just not getting the job done. It's very frustrating for a team that should have won a World Series championship by now, but that's just the way it goes. Rob Thompson, he will be on the hot seat for sure. You just can't keep running it back with this same team. That's why I say it's an end of an era. Rob Thompson could be gone. Who knows what's going to happen with Schwarber, Realmuto, Suarez. Schwarber and Realmuto are getting up there in age. Schwarber is going to command a lot of money. Realmuto might command a lot of money as well for just being such of a threat, such of a good defensive catcher. He plays every day. He's come through, and the offense hasn't been great the past couple of years, but still has those moments. But he's going to be 34, 35 next year, I believe. So it's hard to give him that money at such a taxing position on your body, at catching position. And Ranger Suarez, who knows what's going to happen. They have already money committed to Wheeler, Nola. They got Luzardo has 1 more year left in his deal. You got Andrew Painter coming up. It's just a lot of decisions here for the Phillies. You already have money committed Christopher Sanchez as well. So you can't keep running it back with this same team, the same core group. They're getting up there in age. You got to kind of change things up. Obviously, this team is not getting things done. Back-to-back losses in the NLDS after having great regular season. They've proven to be a great regular season team, but can't get it done in the playoffs. It's frustrating. It's infuriating. And they should have won a World Series championship by now. Haven't done it. Can't run it back. In my opinion, you let Realmuto go. Maybe at this point you even let Schwarber walk, and you try to use that money to bring in maybe younger talent instead. Get a little bit younger. You still have Bryce Harper. You still have Trey Turner. You still have a great starting pitching staff. You still have some good bullpen pieces. You still got Bohm. You still got these guys. You got hopefully Painter, Crawford, maybe even Aiden Miller coming up soon. They all were in AAA. So we'll see what happens with the Phillies in the future. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Horrible way to end the season last night with that play, with that walk-off in the 11th inning. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. 2025 season over. Tough way to end it. But it's going to be an interesting offseason, so stick with us here at Phillies Daily. I'll keep you in the loop with all the Phillies moves, free agent signings, free agent rumors, trade rumors, whatever may be possible, coaching changes. It's going to be interesting. It should be fun as well. Tough way to end the season, but we'll be moving on. Don't let this affect your mood too much. Don't let this affect your life. It's just sports at the end of the day. We all want our teams to win. We're all mad when it doesn't work out. But again, there's more to life than sports. Thank you guys for watching again. And as always, go Phils.